What's up, everybody? It's Jasmine. Today I just finished another really difficult day at work. So, as you guys know, I work at a hospital, and now that with the coronavirus outbreak, things have kind of been pretty intense. So, I work and I live in Sweden, and the government response to the coronavirus has been a lot different from other governments. So they've sort of been saying, like, just carry on as usual, keep on working unless you have symptoms, even if you've been in high risk areas and things like that. But today and the day before, the government has changed their tune a wee bit. So now they're saying if you can work from home, do work from home. They're also encouraging schools from high school up to university and adult education and beyond to have online classes instead of physical classes if they can, but like these sorts of things are just options, you don't have to do them. So the government basically has been changing what they recommend now. So that's a little bit interesting. But I wanted to talk about what work is like at the hospital now. So it's been pretty intense, specifically this week. Last week, we kind of just got like the feeling that it was going to be different, but it wasn't necessarily so much different. But this week, it's way different. Deliveries have been late, and we're getting stuff that's only like a third of what we've ordered because the availability of certain items for the hospital just isn't there. Like, for example, overalls and face masks, gloves, eye masks, or yeah, eye protection and disinfectant. Those things are really lacking in Sweden, and so it's difficult for the hospital to receive everything that they order. So specifically what our hospital is doing is they are creating like a central warehouse of the things that we do have. Instead of what we'd usually do is we would usually have each part of the hospital, they would have their things that they have ordered. So let's say you've got the endoscopy department, they would have, their gloves, their aprons, their disinfectant, and then, the operation department, they would have their stuff. And so each floor in each department would have their own things. But now what we're doing is we are putting everything in a central location and then distributing it from that central location to make sure that we have enough stuff for if something happens. And it's also to like give each department like an equal amount, because the deliverer of the supplies, they don't necessarily know like what parts of the hospital are more important, so they might deliver more stuff to one department and less to another department. So instead we're getting it all together, and then we're distributing it based on our needs, which would obviously be like operation is the most important part for us. So it's been really busy, like gathering up those stuff. And also on top of that, we are preparing kits to send out and distribute for if there is a coronavirus case in the hospital. So far there hasn't been, so that's been like really lucky. But our hospital, you've got the hospital building, but you've also got other departments around the city of Stockholm, and even further beyond. So we create these kits that are going to be delivered not only to the physical hospital but also to these other departments around. And so in these emergency kits, they are meant to last like 1 hour after having discovered that there's a coronavirus case. So it's basically like the really basic things like a mask and overalls and disinfectant. But that's just to get through the first hour, and then we would have give us time to send out more supplies after that amount of time. So yeah, it's been really busy, and then on top of that we have all our other duties that we have to get through, and there's there's less people working, because as soon as you have any sort of symptoms of like a runny nose or anything, then you're not supposed to work, which is really quite impractical, because being the season that it is, everybody's kind of like got a runny nose, and but there is one guy at work who's staying home, and he's in the 60-year age group, so he's like more at risk from coronavirus, so it is better that he stays at home, but it means that we can't afford more people to be sick. So myself personally, I'm not going to school after work. I'm staying like at home and trying to not get sick, because I really can't afford to do that. Like the hospital can't afford to have that happen. So that's basically how things are. I still have to go to work and still have to do all that stuff, not because I need the money, but because it has to get done, basically. And yeah, it's really intense. Like, I feel really tired, and it's just like emotionally and physically exhausted. But hopefully things will ease up, although I don't imagine it getting easier for like a couple of months. So yeah, anyway, that's the update for today, guys. If you have any questions, just leave them down below and I'll get back to you. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hey door.